decades, the rules of the game were clear: fight through proxies and in secret. But recently, that mask came off. The turning point was the Israeli airstrike on an Iranian consulate building in Damascus, which killed very senior IRGC commanders. For Iran, this was a direct attack on its sovereign territory, a line that could not be ignored without losing all credibility. Iran's response, Operation True Promise, was historic. For the first time ever, Iran launched a direct, large-scale military attack on Israel from its own soil, a coordinated barrage of over 300 drones, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles. The attack was designed to overwhelm Israel's defenses. While the vast majority were intercepted, thanks to a joint effort by Israel, the US, the UK, France, and even Jordan, the strategic reality had fundamentally changed. The shadow war was over. A direct military confrontation had begun. So, where does this leave us? Iran has exported its proxy model to the Houthis in Yemen and various Shia militias in Iraq. This has expanded the battlefield dramatically, with the Houthis launching long-range missiles and drones at southern Israel and targeting Israeli-linked shipping in the Red Sea. And the third pillar, the one casting the darkest shadow, the nuclear standoff. For Israel, Iran's nuclear program is the ultimate red line. This has led to a long, covert war. The Stuxnet computer virus, widely attributed to Israel and the US, sabotaged Iranian centrifuges. A number of key Iranian nuclear scientists have been assassinated in sophisticated operations that Iran blames on Mossad, most notably Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, the head of the program, in 2020. In a daring raid in 2018, Mossad agents stole 500 tons of documents from a secret warehouse in Tehran, which Israel presented as proof of Iran's military nuclear ambitions. The 2015 nuclear deal, or JCPOA, was meant to resolve this. But Israel fiercely opposed it, believing it only delayed, rather than stopped, Iran from getting a bomb. Following Israel's 1982 invasion of Lebanon, the IRGC actively built Hezbollah from the ground up. Over the years, Iran has transformed it from a small guerrilla group into one of the most powerful non-state military forces in the world, a state within a state that controls southern Lebanon and possesses an arsenal of over 150,000 rockets and missiles pointed directly at Israel. Then there is Syria, the strategic land bridge. The Syrian civil war became a critical battleground. Iran invested heavily to prop up Bashar al-Assad, not just to save an ally, but to secure a permanent land corridor to supply Hezbollah. In response, Israel began its campaign between the wars, conducting hundreds of airstrikes in Syria to prevent Iranian entrenchment and to destroy advanced weapons shipments. On the southern front, there is Gaza. The relationship here is more complex. Hamas is a Sunni group, yet its military wing has become increasingly dependent on Iranian funding and technology, especially for manufacturing its rockets. The Palestinian Islamic Jihad, PIJ, another group in Gaza, is even more closely and directly aligned with Tehran. What is the end game in this 40-year war? The conflict between Iran and Israel is not a simple dispute that can be resolved by signing a treaty. It is a clash of non-negotiable ideologies, a ruthless competition for regional dominance, and a high-stakes standoff shadowed by nuclear annihilation. Three scenarios loom over the future: a catastrophic all-out war that could draw in global powers, a return to the bloody status quo of the shadow war, or diplomatic breakthrough, which seems almost impossible given the current chasm of hatred and distrust. The human cost of this conflict, paid by civilians in Lebanon, Syria, Gaza, and beyond, is immense. This is a story with no easy answers and, for now, no end in sight. The pieces on the grand chessboard continue to move, and the entire world watches, holding its breath. Thank you for exploring this complex issue with us. What are your thoughts on this? Share them with us in the comments. The idea was to bypass the immediate circle of hostile Arab nations by forging alliances with the non-Arab states on the periphery, such as Iran, Turkey, and Ethiopia. The relationship became so close that Israel was one of the largest buyers of Iranian oil. Mossad agents operated in Tehran, training Iran's feared secret service, SAVAK. The two countries even developed a joint ballistic missile project, codenamed Operation Flower, aimed against Egypt. Yes, you heard that right. These two countries, launching missiles at each other today, were once developing them together. But then, in 1979, the wheel of history turned. The Islamic Revolution, led by Ayatollah Khomeini, demolished not only the Shah but Iran's entire foreign policy. Khomeini's philosophy was neither East nor West, only the Islamic Republic. In this worldview, Israel was seen as the dagger of Western imperialism in the Middle East, a Zionist entity. One of the most symbolic acts of the revolution was the storming of the Israeli embassy in Tehran and gifting the building to the Palestine Liberation Organization, led by Yasser Arafat. This was a declaration that the friendship was over and an irreversible enmity had begun. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the events that shape our world. See you in the next video. Why are Iran and Israel relentless enemies? How did a shadow war, once conducted in whispers, transform into an open conflict where missiles do the talking before the eyes of the world? This is not just the story of two countries. This is a grand chessboard where proxy wars, nuclear ambitions, deep-rooted ideologies, and global power balances are intertwined. Now, fasten your seatbelts, because we are taking you to the beginning of this game, to 1979 and even earlier. The most surprising aspect of this story is how different it once was. Let's go back to the 1970s, to Iran ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. At that time, Iran was a pro-Western, secular monarchy. Israel, on the other hand, was seeking a reliable, non-Arab partner against the threat of Arab nationalism and the Soviet Union in the region. And they found that partner in Iran. So, what are the fundamental pillars that have sustained this hostility for over 40 years? Let's dig a little deeper. First and most fundamental, the ideological war. For the Iranian regime, being against Israel is a matter of existential identity. Quds Day, Jerusalem Day, initiated by Khomeini and celebrated annually, aims to unite the entire Muslim world around the Palestinian cause. This is not just a territorial issue. For the regime, it's a war of civilization and religion. Statements from leaders like former President Ahmadinejad denying the Holocaust or saying Israel must be wiped off the map prove to Israel that this is not a political dispute to be negotiated, but an annihilationist threat. The second pillar, regional hegemony and proxy wars. This is the Middle East's own version of the Cold War. But how does this proxy war work in practice? Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, has spent decades building a network of allied militant groups, which it calls the Axis of Resistance.